Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Sunday edition of This Week in Geek. I am one of your hosts, Ren Geekness. Our co-host, Zach Pope, will be here. I think within the hour he's going to try to make it. We had to slightly shift this week's show from yesterday to today, but it gave you guys over 24 hours to send us your live questions. So thank you so much for sending all of those in. And in case you're new to this show, thank you so much for finding us, however you're finding us, if it is on your commute, on Spotify, live right now on YouTube, on the replay, however you found us, thank you for finding us. And in case you're new to the show, in case you don't know how This Week in Geek works, we have 3 segments in this show. First and foremost, we're going into our weekly ranking. That's when me and usually our co-host Zach Pope, when he's here, we go through everything we watched this past week from the worst to the best, and then we move on to our main topic. That's the topic you see on the thumbnail. That's the topic you see on the community tab, on the image, on the title, and we're going to have a lot to discuss with IronHeart there. And then we go to my favorite part of the show, which is answering your questions. And there's still time to leave questions. We don't have too many at this point, so feel free to keep on adding them to the community tab. We'll do our best to get to it in time. And of course, we can't promise that we'll get to all of that in time. But if you want to guarantee your question is answered and answered instantly, you can always support us through the tip link in the description or using the SuperChat feature. Whatever is best for you, however you prefer to support the show. With that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into our weekly ranking. And this was a busy week in terms of movies to watch. I watched quite a few things. So we're going to start at the very bottom with the old guard. I am a big fan of the original film. I was excited at one point for a sequel when the original came out, but then so long has passed, so little hype has been generated about this sequel, and having seen it, I understand why. This just isn't a very good movie, despite having been in the works for so long. In fact, having been shelved for so long. This feels like a first draft. This feels like a movie they rushed out, even though they obviously didn't. But the results are clear to see. The story is monotonous. It doesn't really move. It doesn't really have a cadence to it. And then it takes these wild, strange directions that I have no idea where they come from, like certain decisions by characters, by the story that feel baffling, and it has the nerve to leave us with a sequel bait sequence at the very end, which is, it's a choice. But to me, it made for the wrong choice. So very bottom this week, unfortunately, is the Old Guard 2. All right. With that out of the way, we're going to go to Heads of State. This is the new the Prime Video, not Amazon Prime. The Prime Video exclusive with John Cena playing the President of the United States, which somehow isn't bleak, or at least any bleaker than we already are in reality. And Idris Elba as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, which is very interesting as well. This is okay. I thought it was better than I was expecting it to be, but I can't really say, go watch it. This movie is awesome. This movie is amazing. It's not that, but I had a good enough time. You just put it on at home. If it grabs your attention, you keep watching. If it doesn't, you can always just click off of it and go to another streaming service or whatever. So I think it's perfectly watchable, even if slightly forgettable. It kind of exists in between the low lows of White House Down and the high highs of Olympus Has Fallen. Somewhere in between there is Heads of State. On top of that, but not too much on top of that, not too farther ahead of that, is Bring Her Back. I finally was able to watch the latest film by the Rocka brothers, and I don't think it's that great. The film is intense, it is tense, it is suspenseful, but I struggled through this entire movie to make any sense of logic in this world, in this story. Characters make baffling decisions, and then the movie in the final 20 minutes completely betrays what it was setting out for. It did not earn the ending that it had. And a lot of times we talk about movies that are ruined by the ending, or movies that are saved by the ending even. This is one of those films that is ruined by the ending. And it sort of sounds harsh to say ruined, because I give it 3 stars. I still think it's a good movie. It's too well made for me to say it's outright bad. But when you have an ending that betrays your entire story and what you're trying to convey with that story, that is a big issue. And I felt the same thing. It reminded me of how I felt with not Talk to Me, but Hereditary, where too much at the cost of the fact that this is a genre movie, it completely disregards real, actual human logic and thought process. And to me, it just completely throws out of a film when it does that. Now, I'm going to let you know that on top of Bring Her Back is Jurassic World Rebirth, even though I saw that last week. But this is just a blast. This is a proper Jurassic movie. And when I say proper Jurassic movie, I don't mean it reaches the heights of the all-time classic that the original is. I don't mean that it is another all-timer that we have in our hands. It is not that. What I do mean by a proper Jurassic movie is on the level of The Lost World. It's on the level of the original Jurassic World. And with this film, now 7 films into the franchise, the scales are sort of balanced yet again, because there's 3 bad movies, but now there's 4 good movies, which is very good for us. At the end of the day, it is all about creating that experience of coming back to this world, of seeing dinosaurs come to life. And in just one scene, in the background, it's not even the focus of the scene, Jurassic World Rebirth does the premise of Dominion better than Dominion ever did. And it's mind-blowing to just see it happening while the main story is here. There's something in the background where I'm like, they're doing Dominion better than Dominion in a completely sort of disregarding way, where that's not even the focus of what we're doing right now. But it features awesome dinosaur sequences, and it brings back something that was missing ever since, if not the original, at least ever since The Lost World. And that is the wonder and awe of seeing dinosaurs come to life. This movie has issues. It has, I'm not going to call them superficial characters, because I think to just ignore the scenes that it dedicates to character development is wrong. But I will say they are basic characters. They are simple characters. They are better characters than the ones we got in Jurassic World. You like these people way more. But when this movie needs to stop to just sit with characters, it does. And that's what it brings back. And that is what all these Jurassic movies have sorely been missing. So thankfully, another really good, fun, understands what the purpose of the franchise is kind of film right here. Also, incredibly well directed. Again, perhaps since the original, this is the most distinctly directed film. I will say it's definitely the most distinctly directed film in the franchise, thanks to Gareth Edwards, who, again, he just doesn't miss. I'm not a big fan of his Godzilla movie, but he doesn't miss. But if you thought that was shocking, here's the real surprise, my friends. At number 1 this week, literally just watched this in the morning. Netflix, K-pop, Demon Hunters is an absolute vibe. I never thought I'd say those words. I never thought I rank it above Jurassic World. I didn't think I rank it above Heads of State at one point, to be honest. But K-pop Demon Hunters is one of those films that we usually like to coin the phrase, has no right being this good. That's exactly what this movie is. The songs are catchy. The animation is stellar. The character designs are the one thing that leaves something to be desired. I just think Sony Animation is very lazy when it comes to their character designs outside Spider-Verse, but every other movie they make just looks, the characters look the same. They all look like they inhabit the same world, so there's no clear distinction, unfortunately. But put that to the side, I needed a little bit more of the story between the main character and the mother. Other than that, this is an absolute blast. I really enjoy this, and surprisingly liked it better. I think it's a better movie than Jurassic World. Wild times we live in, my friends. Wild times. All right. With that out of the way, I got the questions ready. But before we get to the questions, we need to talk about IronHeart, because IronHeart was rough. And I was one of the people who watched the show before any of the episodes were out. I've had my feelings on it for about 3 weeks now. Yeah, 3 weeks. And now everyone has their feelings on it. I've seen wild takes out there. I've seen takes that I agree with, I'm very much in line with. I've seen takes on it that are a bit head-scratching. I've seen takes on it that are like, we watched completely different shows. I've seen takes on it that made me realize I followed people on Twitter that I didn't know I followed. So let me just clear up. Let's just get my thoughts out of the way first. IronHeart is not a good show, like at all. The more time I spent with it, the more I soured on it. This is a show that really got on my nerves. This is a show that feels, again, like the old guard. It feels like a show that was rushed and didn't really have a script going once it started and all that, but it wasn't. This is a show that was made years ago. This is a show that they finished, they edited, they got it ready to release, and they voluntarily shelved it. And that's all that is to it. No other choice. I don't know if they were trying to decide whether, is this good enough to release? Is this not good enough to release? But if that was the sort of the struggle, the doubt that they had, I don't really understand why decide to release it, especially why decide to release it now. Because it's not like this show connects to what we're doing now in the MCU. It's not like this show really ties into the current scene of events where we see characters and mention characters and certain stories and blah, blah, blah that we haven't mentioned before. It's not that at all. So I don't understand why this felt like the time to release the show. Because mostly, and by the way, we're going to talk spoilers for IronHeart just in case anyone cares or anyone hasn't seen the show. If you care about spoilers for IronHeart, we're going to talk spoilers right now. Okay, let me put the banner. Come on. IronHeart. No, I don't want the asterisk. The asterisk was for Thunderbolts. There it is. IronHeart spoilers. So IronHeart is the show that finally introduced us to Mephisto in the MCU, played by Sacha Baron Cohen. And he is in one episode of this show. And I guarantee you right now, he was not originally meant to be in one episode of the show. And you guys remember how a few years back I did a full, long-ass rewrite of Secret Invasion to improve it? I'm going to give you today a very short, very succinct rewrite of IronHeart that will fix most of the issues that I have with this show, where Ironheart, the show that we got, concludes with Riri shaking the hand of Mephisto and making a deal with him, presumably selling her soul to get her friend back. This entire show, Riri's arc, you see where she starts from, you see how she goes along the way. This is an arc about Riri overcoming her trauma. And her final decision in the show is, nah, I'd rather shake hands with the devil than overcome my trauma. It's a joke of an ending. It's an absolute joke because it leaves Riri and also Parker Robbins, who literally just gets punched down, gets his literal robe taken away, and then he just finds another thing to get to where he wants to be. In the post-credits, he also doesn't finish in his arc. He has no resolution in this show. He achieves nothing. He doesn't grow in any particular direction, good or even more evil. He just kind of stays where he's at. Where Riri just keeps making the same stupid mistakes. Guys, there's a scene in this show where her AI friend asks her why not just call Shuri. And Riri goes on this entire diatribe of reasons not to call Shuri, and she fails to give one good reason not to call Shuri. By the end of this diatribe, I am screaming in my TV saying, yes, call her. There's no good reason not to call her right now. But of course, they don't, because there's no money to get Letitia Wright and Wakanda and all that's on the show. We understand. At least write one good reason not to call Shuri. They failed to do that. So here's how we're fixing Ironheart, everyone. The first episode plays sort of the same, but when Riri comes to Chicago, it's not Parker Robbins who begins to have an interest in her. It's Mephisto himself. Mephisto is the reason why Parker goes to recruit Riri, and from then on, through the Natalie AI, I don't know how it works. It's Marvel. It's magic with science. You understand how this could work. Could work. My version of Ironheart, you have an entire show where Mephisto is secretly playing both sides. And the twist of the reveal of Mephisto is just revealing that. Who was it that was playing these two people at the same time? That way, if you want to end this show on the pathetic choice of Riri Williams shaking hands with the devil, you can, because now it makes sense, because he has been actively influencing her throughout this whole show. So that's all I'm going to do to fix Ironheart, because that's mostly all Ironheart needs. Excuse me. That's mostly all Ironheart needs to be mostly fixed. So yeah. All right. So with that out of the way, guys, those are my thoughts on Ironheart. Since Zach is not here, we are going to move on to the questions. So make sure you leave questions if you haven't. We have plenty of time for questions. And we can share weekly rankings right now, because GeekOEP left us a weekly ranking. And number 10, Dominion, that is the worst Jurassic Park movie. Number 9, Jurassic Park 3. Okay. I put Jurassic Park 3 above. Do I put Jurassic Park 3 above Fallen Kingdom? Hang on. Let me double check on that. I think I do. I just shared my ranking this week, so I don't remember why I don't know it. I do not. So far our rankings are the same. Dominion, Jurassic Park 3, Fallen Kingdom. Definitely Lost World deserves to be above that. Rebirth. If this was meant to you, how is Lost World below it, man? Come on, Lost World is great. Ironheart definitely wouldn't be above most Jurassic movies for me. Number 4, Jurassic World. Number 3, Superman 1978. Number 2, Born on the 4th of July. And number 1, one of the greatest films of all time, Jurassic Park. I will tell you right now, Superman 1978, also much lower on my list. So that's the only weekly ranking we got so far, guys. So feel free to share some more. Feel free to add questions. Feel free to support the channel, because right now we are going to dive into questions. And let me zoom in. And we start with our good friend João, who asks, thoughts on Neil Druckmann and Haley Gross leaving Last of Us? Feels like something happened behind the scenes. I don't like to presume those things. Like, I don't want to just naturally assume the worst, but it's definitely kind of sign that both Neil Druckmann and Haley Gross left the show. But I think it only feels that way because we also had a second season that was peculiar. Let's call it that. Let's call it peculiar. And again, let me reiterate, season 2 would have worked the way it was if they only had like a break. If they had shot season 2 and 3 back to back and we had like a 3-month, 4-month, half a year of a break between season 2 and 3, that could have worked. The way they did it, that's it's tricky to call that a full season of television. In regards to Neil, I think mostly like the number one factor for him to leave is he's working on his new video game, the sci-fi one with Tati Gabrielle, who was in The Last of Us season 2. I don't remember the name, but I think he's going to focus on that. I don't know if Haley Gross is at all involved in that game or she's just going to do something else or whatever. So now let's get to the pessimistic point of view. Let's explore that a bit, where I could perfectly imagine that Neil Druckmann wasn't happy either. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was Craig Mazin, because now they've announced Craig Mazin is writing every episode of season 3, and you see people like losing their minds. Guys, Craig Mazin was involved in season 1. Craig Mazin was involved. He was the creator. He was the showrunner of Chernobyl. Like, whatever issues that happened with season 2, it's not you can point in this one person. It's factors. Like, it happens. It's art. It's going to go bad or it's going to go wrong. And sometimes it's not a matter of fault. Like, it just happens. It just didn't work. Hindsight is 2020. What we get when we watch these finished television shows, these finished movies, we all get hindsight that is 2020. When you're making them, when there's pressure, when there's egos, when there's opinions, when there's guys in suits commanding you to do this or that and blah, blah, that will have an effect, whether it actually shows on screen for us audience to talk about it, to review or whatever. So it's tough to say what's the one reason, how many reasons there are, what are the factors that contributed to it. I think the game itself is definitely one of the reasons, whether it is the number one reason or not. We will find out. That's the truth. Either when season 3 is about to come out or after season 3 comes out, depending on how season 3 goes with just Craig Mazin, we're going to find out. I just think right now it's way too early and we have way too little information to figure it out. All right. With that out of the way, Tony Movie Chappie. Why do you think 20th Century Fox didn't just do a tax write-off like Warner Brothers? Because they like movies and they respect movies and they respect artists and the hard work that was put into that film. If anyone ever does shelves a movie for a tax write-off, the only thing I have to say to those people is fuck you. Did with Batgirl and Fantastic in 2015 after the very troubled production that movie went through. Again, because they want to put a movie out, because they're a movie studio. That's what they're meant to do. You don't put people and invest resources and time and energy and dedication and hard work out of thousands, literal thousands of people just to shelve it at the end. So I don't know. I didn't do it. I'm not saying this as someone who likes Fantastic because I despise that movie. number one, I despise that movie, and number two, I called it from the beginning. This movie is gonna suck. Josh Trank is not a good director. Josh Trank has not made a good film in his life. He made a found footage film that was interesting, but it was not good. So has he directed anything else since? I think he has, right? Josh Trank. Oh yeah, he directed Capone. Of course he directed Capone, which again also sucked. So he's 3 for 3 here, guys. Like, he is yet to make one good movie. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't show it, but I'm just thankful they didn't show it. Tony Movie Chappie, any updates on a Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes sequel, and who do you think will direct the next sequel? As far as I know, there's no updates. Who do I think will direct the next sequel? No idea, but if they want to change directors in the Jurassic franchise, why not Gareth Edwards? He'd fucking nail it. He'd be a great choice for Planet of the Apes, I think. Tony Movie Chappie, what do you think went wrong with Jurassic World Dominion after being in development for long, and that we get to see the original cast back together with a decent premise for a final film? Why they changed it last minute, and do you think Colin Trevorrow always had this idea in mind or something different, like did COVID's crew thing? Like, I'm not sure what the question is. Like, I don't know that they changed it last minute for a different story, I have no idea if that's a thing. When you ask what went wrong with Jurassic World Dominion, I think what went wrong was Colin Trevorrow. Colin Trevorrow writing is not a good idea, guys. Like, go see his filmography. Colin Trevorrow, no good writer. Serviceable director. Zack Snyder, fantastic director. Not very good writer. You should not leave Zack Snyder alone to do his writing. Clearly, you should not let Colin Trevorrow alone to do his writing either. And Jurassic World Dominion is just another proof of it. Tony Movie Chappie, I don't mean for this to be a controversial question. Do you ever buy the fact that when someone says that an actor is really canceled because Hollywood tends to cancel actors like Mel Gibson and Shia LaBeouf for a year or two, and they can to come back in movies? Again, I'm not sure what the question is. Like, what is supposed to be controversial? Is it because Hollywood like brings back these people? Like, I'm not a policeman. I'm not going to be policing everyone and everything. I'm going to be watching a movie if it looks interesting to me. So I don't really know. Like, when you cancel someone, I don't want that person to completely disappear. I hope that person realizes what they did wrong, has accountability for what they did wrong, do the work to prove that they've grown, that they've changed, they can be a better version of themselves. Then I'm all happy for them to come back to. So, yeah. Nathan Holden, thoughts on the negative reception of Jurassic World Rebirth? There's no negative reception. The reception is very 50-50. There's some people who didn't like it. There's some people who really liked it. I'm one of the people who really liked it. It's really good. So yeah. I don't think the reception is negative. The reception is, if everything, is split. That's the best term to use for it. Do you believe in these negative reviews of Superman that have come out? No idea what you're talking about. I haven't seen the movie. I don't watch reviews. I don't read reviews. I stay away from everything until I watch the movies myself. So I don't know what these are. I have no sense to believe in them or not. Who do they come from? Has this person actually seen the movie? Who is talked about? You investigate that. Don't send it to me. I won't. I don't want to see anything until Tuesday when I see the film. Nathan Holden, have you seen the Odyssey trailer? No, the Odyssey trailer has not been released, so I have not seen it. Do you like ice drink from Cineworld? No, I only drink water. Nathan Holton, I'm trying to get into anime. What shows do you recommend? Dragon Ball, greatest anime of all time. Cowboy Bebop, only 25 episodes. Gurren Lagann, only 27. Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, only 27 episodes. My Hero Academia is fantastic. What did I just catch upon? Fire Force is amazing. Jujutsu Kaisen is awesome. Other animes. Why am I blanking on other animes? Let me think of more classics. Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya is awesome. Not the movie, not the shitty movie that came out 2 years ago or whatever. Like the anime, the original anime is awesome. Obviously Naruto. Attack on Titan is very heavy. Excuse me. Attack on Titan is very heavy, but I do recommend it. I'm not sure if that should be like your number one, your entry point, but you definitely should keep it on the list. Nathan Holden, thoughts on the... Hang on, let me just refresh this just in case we got more questions since I started reading them off. Nathan Holden, thoughts on the Street Fighter castings? Half of them are fantastic. Half of them are... Huh? What are these guys doing? Let's take a quick look. Street Fighter movie. Ooh, why am I caps lock on? No, I don't want the 94 one. I want the 2026. There you go. Wait, who the fuck is directing this? No. Oh, it's a Japanese director. That could be a very good sign, depending on what he's done. Okay, directed some episodes of Twisted Metal. And that's it. And then he directed something called Bad Trip. He directed a short called The Passage. And he directed something called Aardvark. Whatever the fuck that is. All right. Street Fighter movie. Andrew Koji as Ryu. Amazing. Great choice. Noah Centineo as Ken Masters. Get that the fuck out of here. Get someone who can actually act. Cody Rhodes as Guile. As someone who adores Cody Rhodes. He is my guy. Everyone knows this. As Guile, this is just leaning into a meme that already exists, so I just think it'll end up being distracting. Jason Momoa as Blanking, awesome. Roman Reigns as Akuma, fantastic casting. Kalina Liang as Chun-Li. I've never seen Kalina Liang in anything, but she looks the part. 50 Cent as Balrog. Really? It's 2025. Why are we still casting 50 things in 50 things? 50 Cent in things. Why are we doing this? Has it not become clear, like, he cannot act? We've tried it. I understand he fits, like, into this badass sort of vibe, and it's an ensemble, so I'm sure Balrog, of all fucking characters, will not have, like, a biggest role, but come on. Orville Peck as Vega. I did some quick research on Orville Peck the other day because I was like, what the fuck is an Orville Peck? And how do I get rid of it? And this guy is not an actor, so I am definitely not excited to see him in this. Andrew Scholes as Dan. I'm not even going to address this. This does not deserve to be addressed. Dave Dasmalchian as Bison. Love that shit. So pretty much like the Jurassic World Rebirth reception, it's split. Andrew Koji, awesome. Cody Rhodes is going to do a great job. It's just how I'll see it. Jason Momoa, Roman Reigns, Kalina Liang, David Asmalchin. Awesome. 6 out of these are awesome. Then you got 50 Cent, Orville Peck, Andrew Scholes, and Noah Centineo. Guys, there are actors out there. There are people who can act. None of these fucking people are going to bring any more money into your Street Fighter movie because they're in it. Noah Centineo attracts a total of 0 box office. Orville Peck attracts a total of 0 box office. 50 Cent attracts a total of 0 box office. If you want to dispute that, he's been in all of the Expendables. All of them? Not all of them. I don't think all of them, but in a few of them. And look how much money they made. Andrew Schultz? Oh yeah, total box office draw there, brother. Yeah. So, yeah, kind of fuck half of this casting. Seriously. All right. I got a little fired up there for a bit. Nathan Holden, who do you think Seth Rollins will cash in on? I have no idea who will cash in on because in my head, if Seth cashes in, he has to lose. This cannot be a successful cash in. The one exception where I can see where him successfully cashing in works is the one name that comes to mind, and it's him cashing in on Cody Rhodes after Cody Rhodes beats John Cena at SummerSlam for the WWE. And as soon as Cody wins, Seth comes out and successfully cashes in. So you build to Rollins versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 42, because now not only you have this thing where, oh shit, Seth Rollins stole the title from Cody, you also have the story going back where, number one, they were allies, they became friends, but also Seth Rollins has never beaten Cody Rhodes. This Cody Rhodes. He beat Cody Rhodes like in the past before he left WWE and all that. Nathan Holden, thoughts on Project Hail Mary and Fast 11 news? I refuse to watch the Project Hail Mary trailer because it's 3 minutes long. No trailer should be 3 minutes long. And I'm not sure what you mean by Fast 11 news, because if it is the thing that Vin Diesel, the thing that came out this week, like, we knew this. Like, apart from the Brian thing, we knew all of this. Like, this is not news. But the Brian thing, oh boy, I'm gonna be munching popcorn watching that car wreck, no pun intended, happen, because this is not a good idea. It is not a good idea, especially coming from someone who claims to be Paul Rudd's friend, close friend at that. So, Nathan Holton, we'll be back uploading reviews and other videos outside this podcast. Review of Superman coming this week. Gico VP, after IronHeart, and I know you're feeling towards it, but do you think this might get explored in at least that Champion series or other projects? Would you be up for that Strange Academy series, and would Mephisto be a good villain for Doctor Strange 3? It's tough to say if Mephisto would be a good villain for Doctor Strange 3. It really depends. Like, are they doing the Black Priests thing? Like, what is the story? But just on paper, you tell me that you want to have Mephisto as the antagonist to Doctor Strange in a story. I think that really works. I don't think you have to go through a lot of hoops to explain even to general audiences how the occult and magic and all that connects with the fucking devil. So I on paper, yes. On paper, yes. I don't want the Champion series at all. If anything, one thing I think would work would be kind of Avengers Academy. Sorry about that. Avengers Academy would work. I'd be more inclined to that than Champions. If you want to do Strange Academy as sort of an Avengers Academy sort of thing, I think that could work. I don't know that it's worth to go back and explore it. Just if you want to have Riri back in the MCU, honestly, just pretend none of that happened. Just go as if her last thing had been Wakanda Forever. I really don't think like people are going to be like, oh, how dare they erase the show Ironheart? It was so impactful. It had such a ripple effect on the entire MCU. Its presence is sorely missed. I don't know of anyone who is going to do that. I don't know that the MCU crumbles if Ironheart the show is eradicated from memory. Did I say Paul Rudd? Holy shit, yes. I meant Paul Walker when I was talking about the Fast 11 thing. I did not realize I said Paul Rudd. But imagine Paul Rudd in a Fast and Furious movie. If they do that, it might be good. It might be good. But yeah, I don't want a champion. I don't think it's worth exploring any more of this, because think about this. If you go, let's say they announce an Ironheart Season 2. You have to go out there trying to make a good show on it, which on its own is an immense challenge. It's gargantuan to go out there and dedicate so much of your life to try and make a good show, because it's fucking hard. It's fucking hard to make a good show, to make a good movie, whatever. Now you have to try and make a good show while simultaneously course correcting everything from the original season. And I just think that's super over. To me, who is not going to be working on that show, it feels super overwhelming. So to me, it feels more worth it to just cut their losses. Keep the character, but maybe just pretend the show wasn't a thing. I think that's the safest bet, to be honest. I wouldn't be mad about it. I don't know of anyone who would be mad about it, to be honest. So yeah. I know you like Rebirth. Really like Rebirth. I was a fan personally. It's just too uninspired and the characters were too hollow for me. But if you were the writer of the next movie, what would you bring? What would you do? Bring something new to the franchise, or keep it fresh, as it's been getting tired? Here's the thing: when you ask that question, what comes to my head is the franchise tired? Because I just have a great time seeing dinosaurs eating people. And I think there's not enough of that in Jurassic World Rebirth, for context. That entire family, I needed them to be eaten by dinosaurs bad. They dragged the movie down severely, which is why I don't think Jurassic World Rebirth is a great movie. What would I do to bring something new to the franchise? Because every time they try to bring something new, it's kind of, no, this is a bad idea for this franchise. Where you try to do the militarization of dinosaurs, boring. You try to do the selling in the black market of dinosaurs, boring. Especially when they try to convince me that a living dinosaur, one of its kind, it's only worth $20 million when a fucking movie is worth $150 million? Come on. Then hybrid dinosaurs. Again, really like Jurassic World Rebirth. This is the most boring genetically enhanced dinosaur I've seen. Because number one, they show the D-Rex in full right on the opening scene. What are we doing? That's the shark. Keep the shark hidden. And then at the end, the D-Rex really doesn't do much of anything. He explodes in a helicopter, but then the one character we care about that the D-Rex is going after, spoilers, survives. So the D-Rex didn't really do much for me. Design-wise, great. Like, role in the movie, I don't know what I could do, but I think the one new thing you can do with this franchise is what Jurassic World Dominion failed to do, and what this movie did much better than Jurassic World Dominion. In one scene in the background, just show us a world where we have to inhabit and coexist with dinosaurs. I think when you talk about new, that's the only interesting idea you can do with a franchise. And we've now actively failed to explore that. Because we've set it up in one movie and we just completely ignored it the next. That's why Jurassic World Dominion is the worst Jurassic World movie. Because it fundamentally betrays the promise of the premise. It fundamentally refuses to be about what it is about. So I think with that idea, if you actually do world where humans and dinosaurs have to coexist, because then you can bring back the thinking man sci-fi, the smarts of the original Jurassic Park, the original blockbuster, the smart blockbuster, and actually explore ideas like, how much would that affect us? How would our relationship to like these creatures, and how would they adapt? Would cities still exist as they do? I think that's just something very fascinating in there. But other than that, I think as long as you keep the sense of wonder that was just brought back by Gareth Edwards that was not present in any of the other movies as the original. Maybe The Lost World had it. I need to rewatch it because that movie is underrated. But yeah, also be nastier, kill more people. It's dinosaurs. Here's one half of the fun: seeing dinosaurs. 50% you got right. Here's the other half of the fun: seeing dinosaurs eating people. Do that, and it's 100% fun. So yeah, to me, just do world dinosaurs living in the world. You had the scene where this Brachiosaurus is dying in the middle of New York City, and you just see this complete human indifference to it all. The Minion is right there. One scene is all it took for Rebirth to do the Minion better than the Minion did the Minion. So just a reminder for us all, fuck the Minion. Thoughts on the Gigo B also asks, thoughts on the passing of Michael Madsen and Julian McMahon. This was rough, man. I rewatched, I forgot to rank it because I just didn't log it in, but I rewatched Reservoir Dogs on the night that Michael Madsen passed away. Damn, what a talent. I wish we would have seen more of him in recent years, because as soon as he passed, I'm like, shit, I haven't seen him. He was in Eightful Eight, I think. Yeah, he was in Eightful Eight, and that's it. Because, again, Tarantino. He always works with Tarantino. Julian McMahon is the same. I hadn't seen him. I know I watched, like, a very shitty movie that he was in, I think this year, but it was, like, a 2018 movie that I had never heard of. But I had not seen him at all in anything. The last thing I knew he was in was The Runaways, which I didn't even finish. So it's just a shame. Both of them were tragically too young to be gone at this point. I hope the Fantastic Four has just a little in memory of our friend Julian McMahon sort of thing when the movie comes out. But yeah, just terribly sad. Just terribly sad. I haven't seen like any update on the Michael Madsen one, but Julie McMahon, the fact that it was cancer, it's another reminder of like, fuck cancer, man. Damn it. It really sucks. I was really bummed out by those two. Okay, was he? I wasn't too sure. I didn't want to mention it because I wasn't sure, and I do love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's legit my Tarantino top 5. Okay, Michael Madsen was cardiac arrest. Still a shame, really. 2019. Yeah, he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's Sheriff Hackett. Thanks for the shot, Jacoby. Yeah, so again, like, but then you think about it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 6 years ago, 2019, pre-pandemic. Yeah. Man. Here's the thing, too. I know Julian McMahon was very well known for Nip Tuck, a show I never watched. The things that are like, I think Julian McMahon, I think Fantastic Four, the 2000s ones, and Charmed. Those are the things I grew up with watching Julian McMahon. So I hope I can find like more projects with him in it. And RIP to both of them. Really, really sad that we lost them both. Halfway through, what is your best, worst, most underrated, and overrated films of the year so far? Okay, best of the year is Sinners. Sinners is the best movie of the year so far. Have I updated my list enough that I have a worst of the year? Let's see. Lists. Ooh, I might not have this one on the list, but I think I know what my worst of the year is. Come on. Okay, it's not here. Never mind. The worst of the year has got to be Friendship for me. That is fucking despicable. That is fucking... I despise that movie so much. It is fucking awful. It's either that or the Minecraft movie. There's nothing else that really comes close. Dark Match was pretty... but wait, Dark Match is a 2024 movie, I believe. Yeah, it's 2024, so it doesn't count for this. Do I have anything else? Yeah, no, nothing else really comes close to how bad I rated Friendship and the Minecraft movie. So those are the two for worst. Most underrated. What is the most underrated movie of the year so far? Deep Cover is a shout for underrated movie of the year, for sure. Deep Cover is for sure a shout. Thunderbolts would be a good shout. I don't think it'd be a bad shout to say Thunderbolts for underrated. The Gorge, I'd say, is underrated. Well, that's Sing Sing. That's not this year. Den of Thieves. Den of Thieves is definitely the most underrated. Don't hear anyone talking about that. It's such a good movie. Not as good as the original. Not as good as the original, but very, very good. And then we're back. And the most overrated. Most overrated. It's probably Bring Her Back, to be honest. Yeah. It's probably Bring Her Back. I thought that movie was, like I said at the beginning, it's fine, but completely betrays its own fucking thing at the end. Here it is. The Monster Party is the movie with Gillian McMahon that I saw. It's a 2018. It's Gillian McMahon and Erin Moriarty from The Boys is there as well. So yeah, worst, best is Sinners. Worst is Friendship or the Minecraft movie. Underrated. Oh, I forgot which one it was. Was it Deep Cover that I settled with? No, it was Den of Thieves. Pantera. Though Deep Cover is a shout for most underrated. And overrated, Bring Her Back. Definitely Bring Her Back. So yeah. Alrighty. Okay, I can close the Letterboxd. Halfway through. Okay, and final question. Unless you guys throw in more questions, let me just refresh. And no, so this will be a final question. How would you rank Phase 5 as a whole from worst to best? Okay, let's see what is Phase 5. It's hard to keep track now. I'm in my 30s. I'm an old man. Well, these are just the movies. I want the movies and the shows. Can any site just give me a bullet point where it's it's this movie, it's this show, it's this movie, it's this show? Fun fact, the Phase 5 is the first phase to have no Thor films, no Thor solo films. Guys, come on, just show me a fucking... Is it this? Secret Invasion? What? Can no actual website... Yes, of course I mean Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 5. What else would I mean? Okay. So here are the shows, and let me put the movies on here. From best to worst. Okay, it goes from Secret Invasion to IronHeart. And then, okay. So I'm going to establish this right now. As far as the movies are concerned, there are no bad movies in Phase 5. Just so we're level-headed at our starting point. So at worst, I'm going to have Secret Invasion. On top of that, I'm going to have IronHeart. Then Echo. Then what if seasons 2 and 3 were in phase 5? Then Your Friendly Neighborhood Spot. No, you know what? I like that a little bit more than some of the movies. So we're going to have Secret Invasion. We're going to have IronHeart. We're going to have Echo. We're going to have What If. Then we're going to have Captain America Brave New World. Then we're going to have Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Then we're going to have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. No, actually, then we're going to have the Marvels. Then we're going to have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Then Agatha All Along. And now we get into the good shit. Then Deadpool and Wolverine. Then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Ooh, and now it's the top 3. Now it's the really good stuff. Then I'm going to have Daredevil Born Again. Then I'm going to have Thunderbolts. And finally, at number 1 place, obviously, to no surprise, Loki, which is one of the best things the MCU has ever done. So yeah, that's my ranking. Secret Invasion in last place, and Loki in first, where it belongs. All right, everyone. Is there any more questions, or is this a 1-hour show? It's going to be a 1-hour show, everyone, and we are done. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for this special edition of This Week in Geek. We will have a show next week. It will come out on Saturday, regular Saturday. We'll have to do it like at the time we started today because I will also have work, so I'll need to leave like half an hour from where we are now next Saturday. But hopefully Zach can be here. He couldn't be here today because I changed the last minute. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the great questions. And I will catch you guys next week when we can talk all things Superman, baby. And watch out for the review. I promise I'm putting out a review on Wednesday after watching it. Thank you so much, everyone. And until next time, love each other and love the movies.